Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I'm in a little bit of we did a little technical shuffling, so we'll see how it works tonight, but hopefully it will be for the better. I am still using the KatMula Wellness May 2021 playlist, so if you do follow along with our music during your practice, then that is the one we are using, and it is on Spotify. And it is public, so you should be able to just pull it up. I also shared it on Facebook, on our Facebook page. So I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day. I know it was bittersweet. I had a great day. It would have been for the studio, it would have been our 3rd year anniversary. So we opened, my first class was on Mother's Day. So we're still here, but we're not here in the studio aspect at the moment. The good news is it seems to be that the mask mandate for vaccinated people for practicing outdoors may be more feasible. So we'll see how that goes. I would like to get outside and be with everybody in person and be able to teach in person again. So for now, we're here and we have our Sunday night gig, but it would be nice if we could all be together in person again. So May is an interesting month. If you follow astrology, there is a full moon eclipse this month on the 26th. And anytime there's a full moon, it's just a great opportunity to let go of stuff, let go of something in particular. Even if there's something that's been bothering you, something that's been weighing on you, it's a good time to really just focus on letting that go. And as you release something that's heavy, then generally you find there's more opportunity out there. So I pulled a chakra card just to start with, and then we're going to settle into our first posture. I want to try to get at our lower backs a little bit. For selfish reasons, I've been gardening a lot in the yard a lot, and my back is sore, so we're going to work on all of that tightness. So the card is for the 4th chakra, so the heart chakra. So I thought it was a nice one for tonight. It's acceptance of self. It's time to rejuvenate myself by giving myself love. I accept myself the way I am, and I remind myself that I cannot feel any better about life than how I feel about myself. I will not wait a moment longer to accept myself. I honor what my body is asking for, and if I am unsure, I will ask myself, what can I do to be healthier and more balanced than I am right now? I dwell upon all that is right in my life, not what is wrong, and I have gratitude. I accept my life as it is now, and I move forward from here. So a nice little way to sort of get into your practice tonight. We're going to start in a reclined bound angle. So if you have a pillow or a bolster or something that you can put underneath your back, I want you to make this a restorative bound angle, though. Bound angle can be really intense if you're kind of really letting your knees splay open onto the floor. But if you use a blanket or a couple blankets or a couple pillows and you kind of really surround yourself, make yourself like a little cushiony area. And if you are following along on the playlist, now is a good time to start. And you're going to scooch your back end right up against that pillow or bolster that you have behind your spine, and then just roll back and settle onto that bolster, and then do a little check-in here. Make sure your shoulders didn't creep up by your ears. Can you roll them down and back so that you feel like your shoulder blades are evenly spread across whatever support you have underneath you? And then you're going to have the soles of the feet together. So soles of the feet touch, and then have your feet wherever it feels good to you. Some people may have your feet way up here, and some people may have your feet further extended out. We all are built a little bit differently. So find a place where you can settle in. And maybe it feels good for you to not use the extra support and to just let things open up. Your body's going to tell you. You're going to feel it if it feels good or not. To just let everything open up. And then we're going to try to get out of the thinking mind a little bit and start tuning into your body. Our bodies are really good at telling us what we need. We just don't listen most of the time. And we're all guilty of that. We're built to push through. We live in a society where sometimes self-care is viewed as a selfish act, but it is not. Self-care is selfless, because if you don't take care of yourself, you really can't take care of other people or anything. It all comes back to giving yourself that time to clear your mind. So put away the to-do lists, the whatever it is, whatever the stuff is that you're bringing with you. Everybody brings stuff to the mat. So see if you can start to tune into where you're holding on to tension. And we all have very specific places. So maybe it's your shoulders, maybe it's your back, your hips. Maybe you're one that clenches your jaw and you don't even realize you're doing it. And then as I'm saying it, you're like, oh, I am clenching my jaw. I'm one of those. So see if you can start to let your body just get really heavy. So you're just relaxing everything down toward the ground. The ground is supporting you. Hands can be wherever it's comfortable. You might have them over your belly. You might have them lying down to your sides. Whatever feels good. And then start right at the top of your head and kind of follow like a little self check of your whole body. Follow like a straight line all the way down from the top of your head down to your jaw, to your shoulders, checking in the abdomen, the diaphragm, your chest, your hips, your knees, your feet. We forget about our feet a lot. Our feet take care of us during the day. Our feet are abused. So yoga is another great way to check in and take care of your feet in ways that maybe you wouldn't allow yourself to otherwise. So we'll do a little TLC with our feet today too. And then check into your breath. You may already notice a difference from when we showed up to how it feels now, but see if you can really slow down your inhale. Maybe hold it at the top. And then exhale again, just as slow. And if the stuff creeps back in, if your mind gets busy again, just come back to your breath. Sometimes it helps to put your hands on your abdomen or on your chest or a place where you can physically feel the expansion as you breathe in. And then feel it release as you breathe out. Sometimes having that tangible reminder of your hands on your body as you're breathing is helpful. Or come back to an intention. Maybe there's something that you're showing up with that you want to work on and get rid of. So maybe you have a specific intention. Maybe you just want to have a calm week. That's an intention I go to a lot. There's always room for calm. And sometimes this is the hardest part. For some people, this quiet breathing is really hard. because you just want to move and push through. But that's when it's the most important. It really works to calm the nervous system, to slow your heart rate down a little bit, to really sort of calm that fight and flight response that we all have. And it may feel good on your exhale. Maybe audibly sigh it out. So maybe you breathe in and then hold your breath at the top. And then as you breathe out, just really let it all go. 2 more really big, deep inhales and exhales. So maybe even count to 6 or 8, really slowing things down. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the knees together and you're going to sit up just to move your prop out of the way. So just slide that blanket or bolster or pillow or whatever it is that you're using over to the side. Whatever stuff might be in your way. We're going to come right back down into happy baby. So starting flat on your back. So let your spine just settle right into the floor here. And then you're going to bring the knees down toward your shoulders. And you're probably not feeling super flexible right now because this is literally the second thing we've done. So ease into it. You can reach for wherever it feels comfortable. So you can reach around behind the backs of the thighs if you don't have a lot of flexibility here. You can reach up to the calves or ankles. You can try a yoga toe lock, toe lock, not log, which is your peace fingers around your big toe. Or you can reach all the way up, and this is a great place where I had been mentioning earlier, it can be super helpful to give your feet a little extra love. So maybe massage your feet here if you can reach them. If you can't, no worries. We're all in a different place. And it can feel really good too to kind of rock back and forth side to side on your lower back here. So this is one of those poses where you can tend to find a place that you just are gripping. So see if you can, this is where the breath is a great tool. With every exhale, can you let those knees get a little heavier down toward the floor, toward your shoulders? And going to feel good here too to just rotate the ankles, flex the toes, squeeze them, and then flare them out again. Just kind of let your feet enjoy being the opposite way for a little while. So we're going to add to this just a little bit. So with your next exhale, see if you can stretch that right leg out. So kind of kicking it up and out toward that right shoulder. Keeping the left leg in half happy baby. So you're going to keep that left leg where it is. And then just breathe here. One more big inhale. And then as you exhale, bring that knee back down toward the shoulder, back into happy baby on that right side. And we're going to do the same thing on the left. So you're keeping that right side in your half happy baby and you're extending that left leg out. So kicking it up and out toward that opposite, toward your left shoulder. And you may not feel like there's a whole lot of flexibility. You may be really tight here, but you're still getting that sensation. You're getting that stretch. Even if you're not able to straighten your leg, even if you still have a bend in your knee, you're still getting that extension out of this stretch. So just wherever you're at, find a place where you can settle in and then breathe into that tightness behind the back of the thigh and the calf. One more big breath in. Long exhale and bring that knee back into a half happy baby on the left. So you're back into a full happy baby, and then maybe rock back and forth on that lower tailbone spine area. And then we're going to bring the knees together and we're going to rock and roll up to a seat. Keep the legs long. So you're going to sit kind of upright here. And another place to do a little check-in with alignment, because alignment is so important for getting the most that you can out of these postures. If you're rounded or slumped or your alignment isn't where it should be, you're definitely not going to get the same benefit out of these postures. So grab your bolster, your pillow, whatever you have that you can put between your legs. So legs are extended, one on each side of your bolster or your pillow or stack of blankets or whatever you have that you can build this little support area here between the legs. And then do a little check-in. So scooch so that you feel like you're totally flat on the yoga mat. And then roll the shoulders down and back. So neck is long. You're imagining like you have a marionette string pulling your head up toward the ceiling. So a lot of little things that you need to tune into before you kind of go into the posture. Legs are extended, feet are flexed here. We're going to reach all the way up toward the ceiling. You can look up, really reach, 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 reach. And then we're folding forward wherever you can go. If you're able to come down and rest your head on the bolster, that's great, or pillows or blankets or whatever you're using. And if you're not quite there, then stack it higher. The idea is for this to be a restorative posture. So if you're really trying to overstretch it and reach into it, it's not going to have the same effect. So make it as tall of a support as you need to. And then you're letting everything get heavy here. So hands can be down by your feet or flat on the yoga mat, whatever feels good. You can find a place to settle in. This is one of those poses where you have to let the breath do some work here. So going back to those really deep, long inhales and exhales that we started with. So top of the inhale, see if you can hold it there, and then exhale as slow as you can. And as you're exhaling, can you get a little heavier? And if you're able to, the reason I suggest stacking, even if you need to, if you're able to rest that forehead down on something, it just allows the body to get a little calmer. You'll find you'll feel a little heavier. You're able to settle into the posture a little better than if you're kind of hovering, trying to hold this fold. So one more really big, deep inhale, and maybe on your exhale, really sigh it out. Open the mouth and let it all go. And then as you inhale again, you're going to roll up. So roll those shoulders down and back again. Move your stuff out of the way. We're going to cross the legs just to roll onto the knees. And I'm going to stretch you the other way. So we just took a little forward fold, a seated forward fold. And now we're going to take a camel variation to sort of counter that stretch. So you're going to come up onto the knees. And this is one of those postures where we're all probably going to be in a different place. And it can feel really intense when you try to get into a back bend. So really listen to your body. Let your body cue you as far as how far to go with this. So coming up onto the knees, you're going to again do that little check-in with alignment and posture. So roll the shoulders down and back. And then bring the hands to the small of the back. And start to tilt back, lifting the chin. And you may get here and you may already feel like that's really intense, because there is already intensity even just going this far. So if you feel like you're here and that's enough for you, then stop here. Or you can play with how it feels to let that left arm drop down onto the ankle. And if that feels okay, you can try with the other. Which is going to give you even more of an intense sensation. So breathe here. This is where you want to use your breath as a tool. Try not to hold your breath, but really breathe into this. One more big, deep inhale. Big exhale. And then start with, if you did come all the way down, start with one hand coming back up to the small of the back and then the other. So you're really using your core here to come back out of this. And then we're going to turn to just be at the end of our yoga mat facing forward and come all the way down into an extended child's pose. So you're letting your bottom settle all the way down onto the soles of your feet. Knees are wide. And you're reaching toward that front end of your yoga mat. And give yourself a moment to breathe here. And as you're exhaling, can you get a little heavier? And while we're here, we're going to take a little stretch on the underarms on each side. So just walk the fingertips toward the left first. So getting a little deeper of a stretch there under your arm. And again, try not to hold anything here. Try to let everything be really heavy. And then walk the hands toward the right. And then walk the hands back to center. We're going to come up into our tabletop position. And again, I'm going to be picky pants. Just check in with your alignment. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Your back is one long straight line. So you want to feel almost like a table, almost like you could balance something on your back. And we're going to come right into cat-cow. So you're going to inhale, drop the belly, chin comes up, tailbone comes up. Exhale, tuck the chin, round it out. Inhale, drop the belly, chin comes up. Exhale, round it out. And then on your own breath, keep it going. You can kind of sway side to side or round the hips out a little more, bump from side to side as you come up into your cat pose, and maybe find a place that's tight and hang out there. So close your eyes, make it your own. Just sticking with that rhythmic pattern of breathing. So inhaling, dropping the belly, exhaling, rounding it out. Two more big cycles of breath here. Inhale, drop the belly, chin comes up. Last one. And then come back to your neutral tabletop position. We're going to do those little hip rotations that you love so much that are so good for you and also really good for just releasing emotional tension and firing up the core a little bit. So when you're ready, so again, checking in with the alignment, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, one long straight line from the top of your head to your tailbone. And then without dumping all of the weight onto the right side, you're going to lift that left knee, keeping the leg bent, keeping the foot flexed, and then make circles. So sync it up with your breath. Maybe inhale up, exhale down. And then reverse. And then bring that leg back down. Take a little cat-cow in between here. And then bring it to the other side. So checking in with the alignment. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Lift that right leg this time, keeping the leg bent, keeping the foot flexed. Start making circles. So again, you're keeping that weight evenly distributed between both palms, not dumping all the weight on the left. And then reverse. Bring that knee back down. take a cat-cow. Now you're going to bring the knees out a little wider than they are right now, keeping everything else where it is. So bring the big toes close to each other and knees a little bit wider out. And then we're going to thread the needle here. So right arm reaches up, reach up toward the ceiling, really reach, 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 reach. And then exhale, thread the needle and settle down onto that right shoulder, reaching that left arm toward the front of your yoga mat. Now, breathe here. Again, this is one of those postures. We have to let the breath do its work. So as you exhale, can you get a little heavier? And do another little check-in here. Are you holding on to tension somewhere else? Did you displace it? Maybe you're back to clenching your jaw, or maybe you've stiffened up and you're holding this. See if you can let it go. Let everything get heavy. Try to loosen the jaw. One more big breath in. Big exhale. And then to come out of this, you'll push down into that left palm. Reach that right arm all the way back up toward the ceiling. Maybe rotate the wrist here, wiggle the fingers. And then we're doing the same thing, other side. So you're keeping your knees and your feet right where they are. This time, reach that left arm all the way up, up, up toward the ceiling. Reach, 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 as if you're going to grab something off the ceiling, and then thread the needle. And you're reaching that right arm up toward the top of the mat. And again, try not to hold this, but let yourself settle in. Let yourself get heavy. Let everything relax. One more really big, deep inhale. Really long exhale. And then to come out, we'll push down into the right palm this time. Left arm reaches all the way up toward the ceiling. And then bring that hand back down. Bring the knees back to forward facing so that you're in your regular tabletop position again. And then tuck the toes and push all the way up into your downward facing dog. So let's take a moment here to just stretch out in down dog. So to do a little self-check of your alignment, try bending the knees, drop the belly onto the thighs, and then straighten your legs. Creases of the elbows face forward. Breathe here, maybe pedal it out, bend one leg, extend the opposite leg, and then switch. So we're gonna take a little stretch here between our downward facing dog and a plank. So when you're ready, we'll exhale, come forward into your high plank posture, and then inhale, come all the way back up into your down dog. So let's do that again. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, come up. All right, next time when we come forward, we're going to hold our high plank. So zip everything up. Exhale, come forward, keeping everything up. Breathe here. You might get a little shake. You might feel a little burn. That's good. Next, inhale, roll it back up. Pedal it out again. We're going to open the hip here on the right side. So kick that right leg all the way up toward the ceiling and then kick it toward the opposite wall, opening up the hip on the right, keeping everything evenly distributed between both palms in the front. Breathe. Maybe twist your ankle around, rotate it around, scrunch the toes. And then exhale, bring that leg back down. Take a breath here. And then on your next inhale, we'll take it to the left, kicking that left leg all the way up toward the ceiling. Open the hip, kick it toward the opposite wall, keeping your weight evenly distributed. And breathe. Maybe rotate the ankle, scrunch the toes while you're here. And then when you're ready, exhale, bring that leg down. We're going to come down onto the knees and just set up for pigeon. So if you know you like to have a bolster or a blanket or something up front, get that ready. If you know you are not a pigeon person, still makes me laugh to say that, you can instead take your figure four. So come all the way down onto your back. Feet are flat on the floor, and then you're crossing one ankle over the knee. Interlace the hands behind your thigh, and you're just getting a little bit of a more controlled version of the same kind of stretch that we're going for in pigeon. So that is your option if you are not feeling like pigeon, or if you're kind of working towards it and you do want to be face down. You can use an extra little blanket here, and you can just set yourself up a similar way, but just without that intensity of the stretch in the hip. So you can just lift one leg over the support blanket or pillow or whatever you have, and then come down onto your support in the front. So another way to just start to open up those hip flexors. If you are coming into pigeon, we'll come right from our tabletop position. So come back into your tabletop position, and starting with your right, you're going to bring that right knee up between the palms, stretch that left leg back as far as it will go. And then find your upright pigeon first. And again, I say this all the time, but don't worry about where this foot is specifically. So if it isn't completely parallel with your mat, that's fine. Find a place where you're able to settle in and really feel like you can relax into the pose. That's the way to get the most out of it. So don't worry so much about where your foot is. Roll the shoulders down and back. Maybe open that chest up. Maybe lift your chin. Take a breath here. And then exhale, we'll come all the way down. And this is where you can come down onto your bolster or your support. And this is, again, where your breath can be such a great tool, because we get here and then we sort of hold everything and wait to be told to come out of it. So try not to do that. Try to just settle into this. So as you're breathing, as you're exhaling, can you scooch that left leg down a little further, or can you scooch that right foot up just a little further until you feel that edge, we call it, your edge. So it shouldn't be so easy to do that you're not feeling anything from it, but it also shouldn't be so uncomfortable that it's causing you discomfort or pain to stay in the posture. You should just feel that stretch. And then breathe into that. And let everything get heavy. Try not to clench. This is one of those poses that works really well if we just stay with it for a little while. So keep breathing, keep coming back to the breath, back to your intention. Back to those really big, long inhales and exhales that we started with. So 2 more really big inhales and exhales here. Try to make them count. Maybe notice the difference as you're breathing in. Where do you feel that expansion? And as you're breathing out, what else can you let go of? And when you're ready, we're going to come up slow and just come back into that upright version where we roll the shoulders back, really puff the chest out a little bit here. And then you can play with the option of kicking that left leg up toward you and reaching back with that left arm. Just to add on to that stretch a little bit. If you're nowhere near there, don't worry about it. And if you did go there, you can release that, and we'll bring that right knee back into your tabletop position. And we're going to do the same thing other side. So straighten yourself out, find your alignment, and then bring that left knee in between the palms, right leg stretches all the way back. And then again, find the upright version first. So roll the shoulders down and back, really lift the chest, open up that heart chakra. Maybe lift the chin. And then exhale, bring it down. And again, come back to your breath. Let the breath do some work here as you're exhaling. Can you scooch that right leg back a little further, or can you scooch the left foot up a little further? And you may notice you may be dramatically different on one side versus the other. Like my left side, for whatever reason, tonight is much tighter than my right. So I felt my edge pretty quickly when we got here. So that's where, if something's talking to you, like my left hip thigh area is definitely talking to me. Breathe into those spaces where you feel that tension and that tightness. See if you can start to loosen it up. Really take the time to breathe and settle in here. And if your breath is working its magic, if you're really settling in here and relaxing into this, and you'll notice on the exhale that you get little bits of space, just a little bit more every time. And your body starts to relax more as you're breathing here. Things feel a little less stiff. You'll start to feel a little less rigid. We all get into a pose and hold it. That's a normal thing to do. But that's where your breath is so helpful as you're taking those long exhales. You can really allow your body to just relax into that posture, and you get so much more of a benefit out of it. So 2 more big breaths here. Really make those exhales count. Maybe open the mouth and sigh it out. And then come up slowly again. You can kick that right leg up if it feels good. So find that upright version first. Again, roll the shoulders down and back. Lift the chin and play with, if you want to, kicking that right foot up. Reach behind with your right arm. You'll feel a little deeper stretch there. That dynamic tension of the pushing and pulling. And if you did, grab your foot, let it go. And then we'll come back into our tabletop position just to transition over onto your back. And I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but if you can, grab a tie or a belt, or if you have a yoga strap, grab your yoga strap, because we're going to use that to just deepen that stretch a little bit. So we're going to meet on our backs. And I'm going to give myself a little more space here because my mat got moved over. Okay. So come all the way down onto your back. It should feel really good. Feet are flat on the floor. Knees are pointed toward the ceiling. We'll extend that left leg out and the right leg is going to stay where it is, so with the knee pointed. Grab your strap. You can use a tie, a belt, anything where you can make this sort of loop at the top. And then you're going to kick that right foot up, and you're going to bring that middle of your strap around the ball of your foot. And what we're going to work on here is imagining that you're doing this, but in a standing posture. So start to just wake up the back of the right leg here and right thigh. It's probably feeling super tight by just rotating the heel in a circular motion on the ceiling. So you hold on to the strap with your right hand. Left hand can be on the floor, on your belly, wherever. So we're just waking it up a little bit. Left leg is extended and left foot is flexed. So you're not just sort of lying there on the left side. Everything is doing something. Maybe reverse the circle now. And then we're going to try as best we can. You're going to switch where you hold the strap. So you're going to hold the strap now in that left hand. Right arm comes down onto the floor. And you're going to guide that leg over toward the floor, so over toward the right, while also guiding it up toward the ceiling or toward your shoulders. So you're imagining as if you were in a standing posture that you'd be standing on that left leg and then extending this right leg out. So to the best of your ability. And you may have a micro bend here still. You might not feel like it's totally straight, but the idea is that we're getting toward this motion eventually. And the strap just helps to give you some extra space there to work on that stretch. So as far as it will go, you're guiding that right leg out toward the right side and then up toward your shoulder. And breathe. Again, not forgetting about that left side. Left leg is extended, left foot is flexed like you're standing on it. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. Bend in the knee and bring that leg all the way back up to center. And then let's just take a half happy baby here, keeping that left leg extended. Probably feel a lot more flexible this time than you did when we did happy baby at the very beginning. And then we're going to let that foot come down to the floor, and we're switching here. So you're going to you bring both feet to the floor, but you're going to point that left knee up toward the ceiling. Right leg extends out now. So again, right leg is extended, right foot is flexed, and then you're going to loop that strap or tie or belt or whatever you're using around the ball of the left foot. And start again with just those circles. So holding on to that strap with the same side, the arm on the same side. And your right hand can be wherever it feels good, on your belly, next to you. You're just drawing circles with your heel. Imaginary circles on the ceiling. To just start to wake up the back of that leg is probably super tight. And then maybe reverse your circles. So whichever way you were going, go the other way. And then when you're ready, switch hands. So holding onto that strap with the right hand now, left hand comes down toward the floor. And then you're letting that leg fall all the way over toward the left and then also guiding it up toward your shoulder. Keeping that right leg extended, right foot is flexed. Everything is nice and straight. Your shoulders stay flat on the mat. So don't let that right shoulder come up. It wants to come up and kind of go along with you here. So keep it down. And then breathe. When you find that place where your edge is, breathe into that tight space. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. And then you can take a little bend in the knee again and guide that leg back up. Drop your strap, and you're going to take your half happy baby now on the left. And again, you probably notice that there is just more flexibility there than when we went right into it at the beginning. So you can let that foot come down to the floor and then bend the right knee. So both feet are flat on the floor, knees pointed toward the ceiling. Give yourself a little scooch if you got crooked. We're going to take a little spinal twist here, lying down. So cross the legs as if you're sitting in a chair. So starting with the right over the left, you're literally crossing one thigh over the other as if you're sitting down in a chair with your legs crossed. And then as you exhale, you're going to let the legs fall toward the right. And you're going to feel a big stretch here in the left hip. And you can add to this by letting your gaze go to the left. So knees going to the right, gaze goes to the left. You're getting a little twist here that's almost like, I like to imagine like you're wringing yourself out. One more big breath here. Big exhale. And then inhale, knees come back up, bring the gaze back to center, and then we're just switching sides. So again, do a little shimmy if you got crooked at all, and then crossing left over right. On your exhale, knees fall over toward the left, and you can let the gaze go to the right. And then breathe. Imagine that you're just wringing yourself out from whatever stuff went on this past week, and there's a new week ahead. A lot of Venus this week, a lot of love and abundance vibes happening. Excuse me. One more really big, deep inhale. Really big exhale. Let it all go. I don't know about you guys, but the pollen has been killing me. Bring the knees back up to center. And we're actually going to end exactly the same way we started. So set yourself up for that reclined bound angle. So you're going to scoot your back up against your bolster or pillow or whatever support you have. And again, you can use more support on each side so that you feel like you've got a nice little cushiony area, bringing the soles of the feet together. Find where you can settle in and then let yourself roll all the way back into that same position we started in. This time, see how it feels to put both hands right across your abdomen so that you can feel your breath. As you inhale and exhale, and notice if you feel a difference from when we first got into this position an hour ago. Again, coming back to those really deep inhales and exhales. And this time feeling it with your hands. Feel your inhale, feel the expansion. And then exhale, letting go of whatever is still stuck there, whatever else you can let go of. And see if you notice how your body feels. Do you feel calmer? Do you feel that blood flow, that circulation that we stir up with the yoga practice? Do you feel that some areas where maybe you were holding on to tension are a little looser? It can be hard to show up. That's the hardest part. But personally, myself, I've yet to ever take a yoga class or teach a yoga class and think afterwards, oh, that was a waste of my time. I wish I hadn't taken the time to do that ever. I never feel that. It's sometimes a struggle to show up. I feel you there. But every time you show up, you will feel better and better and better. So you can feel free to stay here and take a longer Shavasana. Or you can bring the knees together and come all the way up. Just to close out our practice for tonight. And again, I'm working on finding a safe way that we can all practice together outside now that it's getting nice out again. So bringing the thumbs to the heart center. The light in me honors the light in all of you. Thank you for sharing your Sunday night practice with me. I hope everyone has a great week. I will see you next week. Namaste.